5 of the 8 fixtures in the 4th round of the Capital One Cup happening tonight. There they all are, some intriguing clashes, not least that North East derby. Sunderland taking on Middlesbrough. Paolo Di Canio's League One side going to Aston Villa as well. Let's join our commentators for the first half here at the Majeski Stadium. Don Goodman, who's sitting alongside Rob Hawthorne.
So it's the only all-Premier League clash of the evening, and it is a much-changed Arsenal team coming out, as is the regular habit in this competition. But there is still some experience within that side, as we see Theo Walcott bringing up the rear and Johan Giroud leading out the team, the likes of Marouane, Chamakh and Laurent Koscielny also in that Arsenal 11 this evening. So not entirely reliant on youth, and Reading supporters coming here in high hopes that this season might not just be about a struggle to maintain their Premier League status, but with a bit of gloss provided by a good run in this competition. They've never been beyond the quarter-finals of it before. If they win tonight, they will be in the quarter-finals. Reading make 6 changes from the weekend draw with Fulham, giving starts to the 2 scoring substitutes in that 3-3 draw, Gareth McCleary and Hal Robson-Kanu. Adam Federici finally reclaims his place in goal after his dodgy start to the season and a knee injury. Noel Hunt returns after scoring in his last 2 appearances, but again, no Danny Guthrie in the 18. Arsenal changed their entire 11 from the win over Queen's Park Rangers. 6 of the players are 21 and under. The junior member of the youthful side is German midfielder Serge Gnabry, who's just 17 and making his first start for the club. Emmanuel Frimpong continues his comeback from a serious cruciate injury, and there is a smattering of experience with the likes of Koscielny, Giroud, Walcott, Chamakh and Andre Arshavin. Olivier Giroud, who played on Saturday, is on the Arsenal bench, and although no one in their current squad has won a trophy with Arsenal, there is a player on the Reading bench who has. Goalkeeper Stuart Taylor played 10 games in the Gunners' Premier League title win a decade ago. So looking at opposite ends of the age scale, Don, what a chance for this man, 17-year-old Serge Gnabry, to take with both hands.
Oh, absolutely. I remember being at Highbury when one Cesc Fabregas made his debut in this competition against Wolverhampton Wanderers of the Premier League, and that night a star was born. I wonder whether we're going to see the same here this evening.
Whereas the old stager on the Reading side is Jason Roberts, who got close in this competition, who reached a final with Wigan, only to lose to Manchester United, but I'm sure he would love to claim a winner's medal in it.
Well, he would, I'm sure about that. As you get towards the end of your career, you treasure every single game, and if you can get any silverware along the way, absolutely amazing.
He did score a huge goal in the competition against Arsenal that actually got Wigan to the final. It was the one that won the semi-final by virtue of the away goal. But there was disappointment in the final itself when Wigan were overwhelmed by Manchester United. And they've got to be careful tonight not to be blown away by Arsenal, because even with the changes that Arsene Wenger tends to make to his side, they're still a real threat in this competition.
Oh, absolutely. You only have to look at the experience that they have. The front 3 are all very experienced, very talented. Several of the 3 of the 4 back players have now got good experience. It's in the midfield areas, isn't it, really, where you look and you possibly think, well, Arsene Wenger, maybe a slight lack of experience, but so much confidence in his youngsters, hasn't he? Since he's been in the club, he's used this competition to blood so many of them.
Very serious-looking Arsenal manager. That suggests perhaps he's a little worried about what lies ahead here. And Reading, under the former Arsenal player, Brian McDermott, hoping to end a horrible sequence against Arsenal. This is their 10th meeting with them, and they have lost all of the previous 9. Wide by Coquelin, and here's Gnabry's first touch, which gave the ball away.
Not really the first touch he was looking for, the young man, was it? But it could have been worse.
Things can only get better.
Yeah.
He has come on as a substitute in 2 of the last 3 matches, so his appearance is not just limited to the Capital One Cup this season, which shows perhaps a bit of the faith that Arsenal do have in him. Johan Giroud ends up giving the ball away. Chance maybe it seemed for Ledgerwood, who looked instead for Jason Roberts. Jenkinson just getting it away from danger, but that is the first corner.
Well, that's what they've got to be careful. of and gave the ball away. And I'm really surprised Wood did not opt to shoot. He scored that rocket of a shot, didn't he, against Fulham at the weekend.
Yeah, it was a cracking goal with which he put them ahead at the weekend. Jason Roberts trying to disturb the young goalkeeper, Damien Martinez. Corner swung in, it's Johan Juru who's up to meet it with a header away. Robson Kanu, one of the substitutes who had the impact of the weekend, takes on board the throw-in from Nicky Shorey. Noel Hunt, header away by Juru, and then hooked away by Coquelin, who seemed to get caught as he cleared it. Reading have started well here, and they've earned themselves another corner.
We're only 2 minutes in, aren't we? I guess over the years, lots and lots of teams have felt that set pieces gives them a good opportunity on occasion against Arsenal. Are up against the joint best defence in the Premier League.
Morrison and Gorks forward there, hoping to disturb them. And Morrison got up, and it almost deflected in somehow between the defender on the line, the post and the goalkeeper. Arsenal managed to keep it out. That's Gunter. Header away by Koscielny. Now Ledgerwood. Left behind Gunter.
Well, early alarm for Damien Martinez in the goal. Is it Kasper Gorgs or is it Morrison? But it's the post. I think it is young Morrison. Comes back, hits the goalkeeper on the back of the head and goes harmlessly away. What a lucky escape that is. What a dream start that would have been for Reading.
A little bit of good fortune about it for Damien Martinez.
It was right on cue, wasn't it? We said about set pieces possibly being an avenue to goal. Arsenal have been warned.
Well, it's only Sean Morrison's second start for Reading, and he scored on the previous one in this competition in a 2-1 defeat by Charlton last year. And he almost got another. Free kick given away by Robson Kanu. Challenge on Francis Coquelin. Arshavin got on with the taking of the free kick. And here's Walcott. Jenkinson with the throw-in. Here's Juru. Having to resist the pressure of Noel Hunt. It's Jenkinson. Marwan Shamak, who's pretty much a forgotten man at Arsenal.
Great things expected of him when he arrived. He did so well for Bordeaux. It's a real player in his Champions League campaign that he had with them. I'm sure that is what enticed Arsene Wenger to spending his money on him, but it hasn't quite gone according to plan for him.
It's only his second game of the season. The other one was the last round, in which Arsenal comprehensively saw off Coventry 6-1. Here's Ignacy Miguel. Andre Arshavin. Gnabry waited for it to come to him. Gunter didn't really give him the chance. Free kick given against Tab.
And Brian McDermott is not happy because J-Tab clearly got the ball. There is no question he got the ball. The referee, Kevin Friend, feels like he went through the player. Well, it looks like a really good challenge to me. Call me old-fashioned.
Here's Jenkinson. Now Laurent Koscielny. There's Miguel, who scored the 5th goal in that 6-1 win against Coventry. Now Arshavin. Looking down the middle for Walcott, and the flag had stayed down. Gawkes got back. Looked an opportunity that for Theo Walcott.
He just didn't get his touch right. I wonder whether he was aware. Look, runs across the line, stays onside. And this is what Reading have got to be aware of, but his first touch allowed Kasper's Gawkes to get back and clear that for a corner, but that is a good opportunity. I'd be disappointed he didn't manipulate the ball into a better area. He could get a strike away.
A player who's apparently made a big thing of wanting to play a more central role, so his opportunity to get into the middle then, but didn't make the most of it. Juro going for the corner, but not getting close enough to it. Clearly under pressure, losing out to Koscielny. Here's Jenkinson. Now Arshavin. Played in looking for Marouane Chamakh, who was aiming to guide it back to Gnabry. Miguel. This is Coquelin. Frimpong. Jenkinson looking to deliver with a cross. Jenkinson claiming that he got a corner, but in the officials' view, it touched Walcott last.
Well, if it didn't take any kind of a deflection, it was a terrible cross, so clearly you would feel, well, there you go. You would think between the officials, one of them would maybe spot that. He's getting a bit of chat, and after recent events, we don't want any of that.
I would think everybody would be very much on their guard about what they say to referees, and referees likewise what they say to players. Roberts in the tussle with Johan Juro, and he's certainly a man, Roberts, who will make his presence felt.
Well, any advice to Johan Juro would be don't try and wrestle him, because you'll lose. A strong man.
Roberts again, showing his strength, the left to J-Tab, who's got through with it, and Martinez comes out to deny him.
Well, really good goalkeeping. That will make a young goalkeeper feel a whole lot better. Good layoff by Roberts, a good run from J-Tab, and he must think, got a chance, but heavy little touch, accidentally, just allows the goalkeeper to come out quickly and smother him.
Morrison's forward again for the corner, and Martinez has lost it, and Ledgerwood tries to hook it back in, but there was a foul anyway on the goalkeeper.
Well, given by the assistant referee, which is surprising, because he's, what, 50 yards away? The referee's, what, 20 yards away? Now, what does he see? Is that a foul? I don't know, I think he's misjudged it. Noel Hunt goes up with him, but again, in the days of overprotection, you're not allowed to touch him. And it's surprises that it was the assistant that gave that decision.
It's a common complaint, isn't it, especially from you all forwards, that goalkeepers are more protected than porcelain. Here's Jenkinson. Here's Frimpong. Hunt. Not the best of balls to Gunter, and Miguel stole in. Here's Arshavin. Tab in pursuit. Left behind Chamakh, but Walcott gets in there ahead of Nicky Shorey. Good stuff from Theo Walcott. What a corner.
Pace is electric, isn't it? We should know by now, shouldn't we? How many years have we been saying that? But it really does allow him to get into places and get balls, get in the end of balls that he's got no right to.
Jury's got into the 6-yard box for Andrei Arshavin's kick. Headed away by Morrison. Arshavin again, this time going for goal.
I'm surprised he chose to go for the near post, actually. Worked the space very well. Lively start.
So it has been 6 corners already, with just over 10 minutes gone. And Arshavin delivers that one. Federici manages to get enough on it to clear the danger for now. Coquelin. Well, this is the one domestic trophy that has so far eluded Arsene Wenger. Disappointments in finals, most recently against Birmingham City.
I think that was a really big upset, wasn't it? I don't think barely any people would have given Birmingham a hope, but it just wasn't meant to be. And I don't think anybody can argue that Birmingham certainly deserved it on the day. They were excellent.
4 of those playing tonight were part of that team that lost to Birmingham. Giroud, Koscielny, Arshavin, Shamak all played in that 2011 final, which happened, of course, just 3 months before Birmingham ended up being relegated. So maybe the fear for Reading if they progress in this competition. But that might be the sting in the tail. Here's Nicky Shorey. Hunt. Robson Kanu. Roberts! Terrific start for Reading! And it's the old warhorse himself, Jason Roberts!
Well, if you're a young striker and you want to know how to lose a defender, lose your marker, to get on the end of a cross, take a look at this, because at 33 years old, he uses all his nous, Jason Roberts, and he gets his reward. And Jay Tabbis, it does really well there, feeds the ball out wide, but watch Roberts, feints like he's going to go near, goes in behind Koscielny, and he's left in front of goal. It's a wonderful cross, but it's wonderful movement that gets Jason Roberts his opportunity, and he is not going to miss from there. It's an emphatic finish, and Reading have got the lead that Brian McDermott, well, he would have been craving against his old club. Didn't he enjoy it?
The first time that Brian McDermott has faced his old club, the third time that Jason Roberts has scored against Arsenal. Long way to go yet for Reading, but a great start for them here. On by Coquelin. Arshavin trying to flick it through, and it's away by Morrison. Here's Roberts. Now McCleary. Gunter. Stooping header clear.
It's been a lively start anyway, hasn't it? Reading got off to the better start. Arsenal and came into the game, looked to threat themselves. But it's Reading with that breakthrough. And let's not forget, this is a team that haven't had a clean sheet all season, so there is, as you said, a long way to go.
There's a defence to which Brian McDermott has made changes tonight. He's kept the left back Shorey and Kaspers Gorks in from the weekend. Robson Kanu. In slides Francis Coquelin. Was expecting a goal kick, but the verdict of Kevin Friend is the other way.
The good thing for these Reading players is they know, even on the evidence of this season, that Brian McDermott, yes, he will bring players in. If they do well enough, you know, he'll keep them in at the weekend. It's that kind of a manager.
Ledgerwood amongst those waiting for the corner. Hunt and Gorks ended up getting in each other's way. I think Gorks, as the captain, might have been better off pulling rank then. Damian Martinez, the young Argentinian, beaten by Jason Roberts here. It's Arshavin. Adam Federici, who played the first 3 games of the season, didn't particularly distinguish himself and has had to wait for his chance to get back in. So he's another man who's hoping that the manager's rule of the man who has the shirt keeps it might apply if he can turn in a good performance tonight. Here's Gunter. Now Roberts. This is McCleary. Gunter looking to provide with a cross and can't. He had 4 men waiting on that.
That's why he needs to do better. He must do better. Really well worked into the space. Worst thing, isn't it, as a striker, when the wide player Just hits the first man. Got to give your teammates a chance.
Ledgerwood looking for a corner, and it is awarded by Kevin Friend. I'm sure Anton Zingarovic and Sir John Medeski would fancy a day out at Wembley in the new year. No wonder Jason Roberts is all smiles. Carl Jenkinson is the man tasked with trying to subdue the threat that Roberts poses here. Towards the far side, but it was met well. Miguel who got it away. Robson Kanu fouled by Andrei Arshavin. Picture of innocence.
That's not where Arsenal want him, is it? 1v1 against one of Reading's wide players. There's going to be one winner. It's yet another opportunity to get some quality into that penalty area, and they've already shown it can cause Arsenal problems from these situations.
Roberts at the moment staying in an offside position, but I'm sure he'll move back as kick is taken here by Nicky Shorey. And Reading have 4 others waiting just behind him. They're opting to leave it for McCleary to take the throw-in. So it's left for Chris Gunter to take. McCleary's worked it through well. Gunter tries to line it up, and it's gone in. It's an own goal. It's gone in off Lauren Koscielny. And Arsenal's despair compounded, but joy here for Reading, who lead them 2-0.
Well, just like their first goal, they get in down the sides, they get in behind Arsenal, and they get into an area where they can put a real dangerous cross into the box. It's good, it's tight there, isn't it? But McCleary does well. Gunter finds space, and Koscielny, well, he's beyond the near post. He has to try and intercept it, and the only kind of contact that he can get that will send that ball in the net, he somehow manages to get. And that's really unfortunate for Damien Martinez in the goal, but I'm sure Brian McDermott doesn't care.
Well, Brian McDermott, who was a winger at Arsenal in the late 70s, early 80s, played over 70 games for the club, was there with some really good players, the likes of Liam Brady, Frank Stapleton were there at the time, David O'Leary. And he's well on the way now to leading Reading to their first ever victory over Arsenal. And it could get even better here. Ledgerwood's effort is blocked.
That's McCleary arriving. Another cross that Arsenal just don't deal with. Very fortunate in the end. It's Koscielny. Hits.
Gawkes climbing with a header. They still haven't managed to get it clear. Here's Ledgerwood. And he looks for another strike at goal! And he's got it in! This is unreal! 3 up inside 20 minutes! Mikael Ledgerwood scores for the 2nd game in a row. Martinez finding his shot too hot to handle. And despair for Arsene Wenger, whose team are being ripped to shreds.
Well, they are. This is an absolute disaster for the young goalkeeper. Comes from a corner, and it very much looks as if they've got that clear, but sloppy. Shamak that gives the ball away. Ledgerwood does really, really well here, but that should not be finding the back of the net. You can see by the angle that the ball goes in, Martinez gets it all wrong. He's trying to palm it away to his left, and somehow the ball squirms into his right. And this is not something that he will want to see. in the future. It's a horrible mistake from the young goalkeeper.
Well, that's the risk you take when you change your team as dramatically as Arsenal have, but they don't even really have the excuse tonight of having filled the team completely out with youngsters. Here's Gnabry. Robson Kanu bringing it clear. Here's Tab. Johan Giroud, bad night for him as captain.
Well, Arsene Wenger really needs the more experienced players out there to stand up and be counted now. They've got to pull the team together. They've got to encourage the young lads. Otherwise, it could be an absolutely disastrous night. This is unexpected. He will have believed that he'd put a team out there very, very capable of competing here tonight and winning here tonight. Not in his wildest dreams could he imagine being 3 down in the first 20 minutes.
Could get even worse yet. Almost a chance for Roberts. Shamak. Cleared by Jenkinson. Here's Gawks. Now Shorey. Here's Arshavin. Frimpong. Who can be the man to give Arsenal a lift? They do have players out there with plenty of first-team experience. Even a player like Jenkinson at right-back has played in most of the matches that Arsenal have had this season, only left out of the weekend after Bakary Sagna's return. And this is the worst of all worlds for Arsenal in a week where, of course, they go back to Manchester United at the weekend, where they conceded 8 last season.
I'm sure they'll all love you for reminding them of that. Not good preparation, is it? I'm sure it'll be a completely different team, but nevertheless, I'm not going to go there in a fantastic mood.
Gnabry. Here's Andre Arshavin. Tried to play it through the middle when he had a runner to his right, Jenkinson.
I just think the good situations that they find themselves in at the moment, Arsenal are just making poor decisions with that final pass.
Giroud wins that battle with Roberts. Here's Coquelin. Koscielny, the scorer of the own goal, when he was aware that Robson Kanu was behind him. It was the lingering, menacing shadow that forced him to concede the own goal. But since then, it's got even worse for Arsenal.
Reading really dominated, haven't they? Arsenal barely been a threat. Look at that, the home team in every aspect. It's 3-0, 3 attempts on target, but let's not forget, second goal, own goal.
Walcott, that one's blocked. Now Frimpong. That's just to emphasise that point we're making. The own goal doesn't count as one of the Reading attempts. It was put through his own net by Laurent Koscielny.
They need a spark, don't they? Need something very quickly, Arsenal. There are supporters behind the goal. Fair play to them. They're singing for their team. They won't be enjoying what they've seen so far.
Well, he looked like he had a gloomy disposition even before the match, Arsene Wenger. And he will be really despondent as he sees his youngish team fall apart here, as they have done so far. Gnabry, it's got away from Marouane Chamakh, and another shake of the head in frustration from the Arsenal manager, who was honest enough to say this competition was lowest on his list of priorities. But the longer this wait for a a trophy goes on, you would think the more important win something like this would become.
You would think so. With every passing year, there's no question. You look at the fixture list that they've got over the next few weeks. Manchester United away, Schalke away, Fulham at home, Spurs at home, Montpellier at home. You know, those 5 games, they are absolutely crucial in the grand scheme of this season. They could very easily, if things don't go their way, be struggling to stay in the Champions League and be out of the race in the Premier League.
Well, they've lost 2 of their last 3. 1 to Norwich in the Premier League, 1 to Schalke in the Champions League. Overall, they've suffered 3 defeats in their 6 matches coming into this one, and they're already well on their way to a shock defeat here. Gnabry. Now Jenkinson. All given away to Roberts, who is the furthest player forward here for Reading. Robson-Kanu and Hunt now ahead as Ledgerwood tries to pick Robson-Kanu out, but ends up giving it away to Johan Giroud. Here's Miguel. Johan Giroud.
Looking for the movement ahead of the ball, and it is very static. It's very un-Arsenal-like. I just wonder whether they're still shocked, really. When Miguel and people like him get the ball in these areas here, he needs more movement from the players ahead of him.
Shamak with a header down. Coquelin. Here's Jenkinson. Now Frimpong. Girl finding Gnabry. Here's Laurent Koscielny. Trying to drive away through the middle towards Theo Walcott, but again it breaks down. Reading's only win so far this season in this competition. They twice had to come from behind to beat Peterborough, twice had to come from behind to beat Queen's Park Rangers, and yet here they find themselves in a position of glorious luxury against Arsenal. 3-0 up, and we haven't even played half an hour. Cleared by Gorks. Frimpong. Coquelin. Miguel. Koscielny. Giroud. There's Miguel.
Well, Reading won't mind this, you know. Arsenal enjoying a little bit of possession in those kind of areas. They've got 2 banks of 4 behind the ball, Reading.
Here's Jenkinson. Robson-Kanu trying to restrict his movement and forces him back to Andre Arshavin. Here's Giroud.
This is what I'm talking about. You know, they've been in almost by the corner flag there, and they end up having to come all the way back to the halfway line. It's good to be patient, but you need some kind of a cutting edge.
Walcott looking to provide it with a cross, but straight into Federich's hands.
Must admit, disappointed with the front 3 of Arsenal so far. Walcott, Shamak, Arshavin, 3 internationals, quality players. They're not showing for their team, not yet, and they need to.
Shorey. It's Koscielny. Ball from Coquelin.
Again, that's not the kind of service that young Serge Gnabry will be wanting, is it? A high ball, a challenge in the air. And that's where they've got to be better for me, Arsenal. They've got to get some better movement and better, crisper passing into their play. It's very, very comfortable at the moment for Reading.
Frimpong picking out Carl Jenkinson. And here's Johan Giroud. Now Arshavin. Gnabry. Walcott forced wide. Jenkinson here helping out. Arsenal getting into good wide areas, but still unable to find that penetrative ball. And again, it breaks down from Andre Arshavin.
It's just really sloppy. It was a sloppy pass, a careless pass.
Koscielny's header. It's Noel Hunt. It possibly took a deflection on its way through. Martinez grabs it and holds on. Gareth McCleary's down at the moment, injured for Reading. Robson Khan is trying to get Arsenal to put the ball out, and in the end, Marouane Chamakh agrees that that should happen.
It's a heavy challenge. It's Miguel overruns the ball and doesn't look a lot of contact. I wonder if he lands awkwardly. A little apology.
He's actually shown Miguel a yellow card for that. First booking of the game, which adds to the woes of an Arsenal defence already under pressure. What they give to have this partnership at the back. Tony Adams and Steve Bold, both spectators, both in different parts of the ground, as Bold is now the right-hand man of Arsene Wenger. Used to have first-choice central defensive partnerships in this competition. Tony Adams was part of the side that won it back in 1993, but these days rotation means you don't necessarily have your first-choice defenders out there.
We do have good quality defenders that should be doing better.
Here's Arshavin. And it's been that kind of night for Arsenal so far.
Yeah, it certainly has been that kind of a night. Almost stunned Arsene Wenger.
Absolutely.
Reading have been amongst the goals. I think they've scored 10 goals in the last 5 games. It's been at the other end of the pitch where they've had all of their problems.
Flag up there against Jason Roberts. Here's Koscielny. Now Miguel. Arshavin. Good ball from Coquelin. Now Jenkinson. Again, it's the final ball, it's the wasted one.
And it is, and Carl Jenkinson is crossing that from, what, 30, 35, 40 yards out even. Not really the best area for a striker to be attacking across.
Confusion between Gawks and Ledgerwood. Reading, though, emerging unscathed, and here's Nicky Shorey. Challenged by Koscielny, who eventually wins the tussle and finds Coquelin. Gunter dealing with it after momentary confusion. Here's Gawks. More Capital One Cup action tomorrow. It's Chelsea against Manchester United, the sequel, live. Sky Sports 1 HD from 7 o'clock. That game's also in Sky 3D. Ledgerwood as Arsenal lose out cheaply again. Now McCleary. Shows too much of it to Miguel, who does have to watch his step.
Well, that's why it's the right idea, isn't it, from Gareth McCleary? The opportunity he gets, he should be trying to take the young fullback on. You don't have to do much to get yellow cards these days.
Shamak losing out to Morrison. Here's Mikel Ledgerwood, urged to shoot again, and after what happened last time might have been tempted, but instead finds McCleary. Hunt! In off the post! Reading are running riot! Arsenal are being annihilated here!
Well, Arsene Wenger's not happy. He's with the fourth official. He just feels like it should have been a foul given Arsenal's way in the lead up to that goal. Shamak was the player in the middle of all that. Lost the previous challenge, but that there, maybe a little bit of a nudge in the back on Shamak, not given. And look what happens. Again, Reading work the ball wide, and this is where they've been absolutely lethal. Noel Hunt, a player that I'm sure Arsenal don't probably know too much about, but if they do their homework, what they will know about Noel Hunt is just how very, very good in the air he is. One of the best headers of a ball that I've seen for a few years, and that is a wonderful header. An absolute wonderful header, but Arsene Wenger maybe has a case.
Well, the fourth goal means that some Arsenal fans, we assume, have seen enough and are heading for home already. Here's Walcott. Didn't quite break for Andrei Arshavin. Well, Noel Hunt has missed the last couple of matches with a heel injury, but he'd scored in his 2 appearances prior to that. Even though he would have hoped to beat his old club, surely he would never have anticipated this margin, Brian McDermott.
This is what he would have dreamed of last night. I'm not sure he truly would have believed that his team could be 4-0 up after less than 40 minutes.
4-0 is actually the best win that Arsenal ever achieved against Reading, which was on their first visit here 6 years ago on Arsene Wenger's 58th birthday. But it's turning into a miserable night tonight for the Arsenal manager.
It just seems every cross that goes into their penalty area, Reading look capable of scoring from. Let's not forget they've hit the woodwork as well.
Gunter. Morrison. McCleary.
Well, I've said about my disappointment in the Arsenal front three, all of who are very experienced, and Arsenal as a team have mustered one attempt at goal. And Adam Federici in the Reading goal, absolutely nothing to do in 40 minutes, and it must be a very rare occasion when you can say that about an Arsenal team, because the one thing that they have had going for them all of these years is they've had plenty of goals in the locker, always had an ability to score goals, but so far they just don't look a threat. It's very comfortable for Reading, and I'm sure it's not one to throw.
Frimpong. Here's McCleary. Gunter. Roberts. Free kick given against him. Judged to have held off Laurent Koscielny. It's not as if he has any experience on that bench really to change it. I suppose he's got Sebastian Schillaci as an experienced defender, but in the centre of defence you'd think he'd have enough experience anyway with Giroud and Koscielny, and then he's got Olivier Giroud who he can bring on as a striker, but other than that it is youngsters again.
It's youngsters, like I said, just as we said, Brian McDermott couldn't probably have imagined in his wildest dreams. I'm sure Arsene Wenger couldn't have imagined in his wildest nightmares that he'd be 4-0 down. His team way off the pace. They look leggy, they look second best. There's no spark to them, lacking in energy. It's just not what we've all associated with Arsenal. Certainly not under his tenure.
That was a nice touch from Coquelin. There's something in a break for Arsenal here. Chamakh again doesn't really test Federici. Not the most difficult save the goalkeeper's had to make.
Very comfortable. At least it was a little bit more positive.
Here's Morrison. Ledgerwood.
This is the difference when Reading are in possession of the ball. Arsenal aren't closing them down, they're not really putting them under that much pressure. Reading have been hungrier.
Here's Gnabry looking for a way through for Arsenal. Wins the corner.
Well, that's what he's been waiting for, the young man, isn't it? A 1v1, an opportunity to show us his skill. 43 minutes in. 4-0 down. It's probably a bit late in coming.
And Arsenal finally show some teeth in front of goal. Chamakh with a header down. Koscielny was in there looking to make amends for his earlier own goal, and the eventual effort is wide from Frimpong.
Koscielny loses the opportunity once he decides to try and control it. Can he swing a leg at that? Let it run across his body, maybe. Nevertheless, gets crowded out. And Frimpong, ambitious.
Here's Miguel. Chamakh. This is Arshavin. Now Walcott. Jenkinson.
Maybe way off target, but 3 minutes they've kind of looked a little bit more likely, haven't they? They've spent a bit more time up in the Reading's end of the field. While they're not exactly testing Federici, as they're getting some shots away.
Jason Roberts, who started the scoring off. Hunt looking for him and finding Jason Roberts. Supporters, offside flag up there against J-Tab. A real air of discontent amongst the Arsenal fans here.
Discontent amongst them, down on the bench, amongst the management and coaching staff. And out on the pitch, you would hope, would be the most discontent. Just none of them, I don't think any of them can stand up and say they're anywhere near where they need to be.
Here's Chamakh, and now Walcott tried to take it inside, which was the area that was busier.
It's That's another bad decision in the final third.
Well, all credit to Reading, who are putting behind them their Premier League struggles to take advantage of Arsenal's weaknesses. Going into face up to Martinez, who's had a tortuous first half.
We were saying he got lucky on the first attempt at goal, weren't we, when it bounced off the post onto the back of his head, but little did we know what was to come.
Little did he know. Here's Arshavin, and now the chance for Walcott to make an impact for Arsenal, and at last something goes right for them right near the end of the half. Could that be the start of an improbable comeback?
It needs to be the spark, doesn't it? It really does, and this is what you want to see more of from Theo Walcott. Gets himself in between defenders, onside, and once he's away, they're not going to catch him. And this is what I think he doesn't maybe get the credit he deserves for sometimes. In front of the goal, he stays calm, and it's a really cool, calculated finish. Dinks it over Federici. Tiny, tiny glimmer of hope.
Well, it may be the eve of Halloween, but this is Arsenal's Fright Night. Worst 45 minutes that many can remember, I'm sure, in the Arsene Wenger reign. Despair for the Arsenal defenders going off. They were trailing by 4 goals to 0. Koscielny scored an own goal past his keeper, Damien Martinez. Arsenal were barely making an impact at the other end. Roberts, a Koscielny own goal, Ledgerwood and Noel Hunt put Reading 4-0 up as they took advantage of Arsenal's weaknesses, and only that goal from Walcott right near the end of the half gave Arsenal any hope at all. Reading 4, Arsenal 1.
Rob, thanks you very much. We're astonishing.